guys, can you hear me? Yes. Excellent, thank you. Morning. Okay, guys, I'm gonna start with bringing in the research prompt. So I'm just gonna give you a date. I'm not going to let you choose a date. I'm just gonna give you a date, and the date is gonna be the people whose names I see first. So Brianna, you are the first. Maya, you are second. Zaire, you are third. Naya, you are October 9. Pardon? There's the H, thank you. Jaden, you are October 12. Bronson, let me see if I got everybody in here. I got everybody. All right, it's only 5 of you. Some of you need to be let in. So today we don't have a writing prompt because we already did them. But we are going to do some things around the research paper. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. Samantha. How do I not know you? You always sit in the same place. Samantha is here. And okay, so I'm thinking people are gonna roll in a little late here on this October 2nd. So let me just do some housekeeping. I'm now listening to your podcasts. Some of them I'm not able to open, and so the person for whom I'm not able to open is not here. The rest of you are fine. In the future, I am going to make students not just download a file of it, because it ends up being kind of complicated when there's a link and the link doesn't work, things like that. But so far, so good. So what we're going to do right now, because I just want you to hear, I don't think either one of these folks are here, the two podcasts that I thought were the best right off. So I haven't listened to everybody, so don't get upset if it's not yours. Yeah, they're not here today. So I just want you to hear them and to understand why they are very good. And hopefully everybody's going to be able to hear at home and here in the classroom. So let's give it a shot. So this one was very good.
Usually when you think of accomplishing your dreams, you start thinking about how impossible it can seem.
All right, so Zoom people, can you guys hear it?
Yes.
Okay, so over here we can't hear it, so now I have to mess around with the sound and try to make it audible. And if it doesn't work, then we're not going to do this, but sound, Samsung output, it should work now. All right, let's try it again.
How expensive it can be. I chose to do my profile.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna restart it. And there is a couple of, there's a little technical hitch right at the beginning and right at the end. So in the future, I'm gonna be a little bit tighter about this, like you must get beeps and silences out, so extraneous noises. I think everybody should look at their grade and say, it's probably a grade lower if Dr. White was assigning this next semester, just because you were the first ones. I'm being extra generous.
Usually when you think of accomplishing your dreams, you start thinking about how impossible it can be and how expensive it can be. I chose to do my profile on Taylor Ben because she is an amazing person who has accomplished so much in life already by the age of 25. And yes, not everyone has the same dream as her, but I hope that everyone can take a little something from her story. Growing up, Taylor always had dreams of teaching abroad. She was always very intrigued by people of other nationalities and their cultures and how they're so much different than us and just how everybody in the world is different from each other. What made you choose Thailand?
Well, I had already been to like Europe and stuff, and I wanted to go to a place I had never been to. So it's like Asia, they have a different culture than the United States and Europe really does. And then I Googled jobs and stuff, and I came across one in Thailand, and I looked at pictures of Thailand, and I was like, yeah, that's the one.
As I mentioned before, when people hear the phrase like follow your dreams or anything like that, sometimes they can start thinking about how expensive it can be. I spoke to Taylor about how did she afford this? You know, she was young and she was moving all the way across the world. How could she possibly afford this? How did you afford the expenses of living out of the country and all of that type of stuff?
I knew I wanted to do it. I applied for the job and started thinking ahead. So while I was finishing up my degree in college, I saved all my money and did everything I could to make it work.
Both times that I interviewed Taylor, I asked her what her favorite part about living in Thailand was. And she gave me the exact same answer both times, the simplicity of life. So during the second interview, I asked her to explain a little bit about what that means. In both interviews now, you have mentioned the simplicity of life in Thailand. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Life in Thailand is just very laid back. Like if you say you're gonna meet somewhere at 7, they probably won't get there until 8, and they'll just laugh and say, "Oh, it's my time."
Dr. White.
Happy life.
Just Thai time, everybody's chill out.
Yeah, that's true. They believe in karma, so no one really tries to get mad.
Taylor was so brave and determined to accomplish her dream. She packed up her stuff, moved 9-hour miles away from her home, across the country with nothing but a suitcase of clothes. But how did this experience affect her life?
It's enabled me to come home with a new pair of eyes for a deeper appreciation for not only my home, but my culture and where I come from, and also to be able to have a higher respect for other cultures and backgrounds that I was not previously aware of.
To really see how much this experience has impacted Taylor's life, I spoke to Taylor's sister. So I know that this trip was an amazing experience and a life-changing opportunity for Taylor. And I know that she just got home. So how do you think that going to Thailand, teaching abroad, has affected Taylor's life?
Honestly, since she left like 2 years ago, I feel like she's matured much more than she would have. Like being able to go and visit on her own really made her change and be more mature. Now, every time we go to a restaurant or like anywhere that we see her friends, that's all she talks about. Sometimes I can't even get a sentence in, like she was
personally think that Taylor's story is so inspiring because she knew what she wanted and she went for it. She got 2 jobs while attending college and saved all of her money and was able to make her dreams happen. She was so determined to make it work. It was very intimidating for her at first, moving across the country to teach kids that spoke a language that she didn't even know anything about. And it turned out to be one of the best experiences of her life. So I think that we can use her story as an example of many other stories. That you can follow your dreams and you can be who you want to be.
If you want it bad enough, you'll go back, you'll go for it. I would say just do what you can in order to get it done. Like stop eating fast food as much. You know, you'll save money that way. It's all worth it.
Usually when you think of accomplishing your dreams, you start thinking about how impossible it can seem and how expensive it can be. I chose to do my profile on Taylor Benton because she is an amazing person who has accomplished so much in life already by the age of 25. And yes, not everyone has the same dream as her, but I hope that everyone can take that little something from her story. Growing up, Taylor always had dreams of teaching abroad. She was always very intrigued by people of other nationalities and their cultures and how they're so much different than us and just how everybody in the world is different from each other. What made you choose Thailand?
Well, I had already been to like Europe and stuff. And, I wanted to go to a place I had never been to. So it's like Asia, they had a different culture than
Oops.
stuff, and I came across one in Thailand, and I looked at pictures of Thailand, and I was like, yep, that's the one.
Sorry, guys, I don't know why it won't, the sound. Hold on.
Anything like that. Sometimes they can
Guys, for some
start
reason the
thinking
sound
about
went
how
out.
expensive
I
it
don't know
can be.
why.
I spoke to Taylor
So I'm just gonna
about
stop this and try again. Could you hear it at home? Did you guys hear? Did the sound go out for you guys at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh.
We can hear it.
All right. Well, anyway, here's the good, the thing with that particular podcast is it had a point. The point is that the person traveled and the narrator said that she wanted to know how that's possible. The narrator went and interviewed a whole nother person. It had introductions and conclusions, and it was just very interesting. And it sort of answered the question, how do you do what you want to do? Well, you focus on it and you start saving money. And by the way, guys, travel isn't really that expensive. If you want to live abroad, you can live abroad. I've lived on 3 continents. Staying at home is expensive. All right, so we're gonna listen to another one if I can make the sound work. So I don't know why the sound is I was messing around with a different computer screen. So if this one doesn't work, then we're going to jump ship. So this one is very different. It's an entire conversation between 2 people, and it is a really nicely done one with respect to the sound quality. So the last one had a couple of weird beeps. But this one, it just sort of works. So I really hope that we can all listen to it.
Hey guys, my name is Jamar Wright. Today we're going to talk with Kaisha Dunn, a very successful entrepreneur.
Hi, I'm Kaisha Dunn, and I'm the co-owner of Royal Learning Academy. What has been the most difficult thing about having a business? The most difficult thing about having a business is having a business partner. I didn't say having a business is the most difficult thing. I say that having a business partner is the most difficult thing because not only do you have to focus on your weaknesses and your strengths, then you also have to focus on their weaknesses and strengths until they have to come up with hand as to who handles what in the business. Maybe one of us is stronger in finances, and one of us may be stronger in teaching. So then we have to figure out, okay, who's going to get the teaching part of the business, who's going to get the administrative part of the business. And so it's a little bit difficult when you don't really know who should do what. Even when you figure out, okay, your strengths of the business, sometimes you be unfocused because you may feel like the part that your business partner is stronger in, they're not really following through with what they're supposed to do, coming through with what they're supposed to do. So it's a little bit challenging when you feel like you have to go in and do all of the work yourself.
That's understandable. So if you could change one thing about the way you approach everything, what would it be and why would you change it?
So if I could change one thing, it would be to get better organized. And the way I will approach that is by setting a daily goal or setting daily tasks as to what it is that I want to do or what it is that I need to do for that day. And just go off and kind of just do a checklist, check everything off that I did so I know that I approached it right and that I accomplished all the goals on the list to make it a little bit more, to make it easier for myself.
That's good. What made you want to start your own daycare meeting?
So I wanted to start my own daycare because one, I always love children. I've always had a love for children. I've always had a passion for children. And so that's what made me want to start my own daycare. And then two, it was something that was started in my family. I would say it started with grandmother. She kind of had a vision before. I did have a daycare, and then my mom actually started a daycare. And so then I decided, okay, well, I've always been around children, always been around how my mom had daycare, and just thought it was a good fit. And so that's what made me want to start my own daycare.
Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years with your business?
Next 2 years?
Yes.
So in the next 2 years, I see myself having a building, because right now we are home-based and we can only accept so many children being that we are home-based daycare. And so in the next 2 years, I would like for us to see ourselves in a building where we have a staff and we don't have to do all of the work.
Do you think you'd be
Yes, as long as I stay focused, as long as I focus on the goals that I have daily, as long as I stay organized, do the work that's necessary to get there, I'll definitely see myself there in the next 2 years. Hopefully it's before that, but if it's 2 years, then that's fine.
What's one thing you dislike the most about your job?
Not really being able to take breaks because I have a mixed age group, so I have infants and I have toddlers. So it's kind of hard to really take a break, and being that I don't have anybody else, or we don't have anybody else to come in to relieve us and actually taking a break. That's the thing I probably dislike the most, is that we work all day instead of being able to really take breaks, and we can't take the breaks like we need to, and we don't really take vacations like we need to because we sometimes focus more on parents still having to work. And so that's, I would say, what I dislike the most is that I don't get to take enough breaks. So I'm being overworked. I'm overworking myself.
Yeah, it's important to take breaks. But what's one thing you love most about your job?
One thing I love the most is the freedom of not having to work for somebody else. Excuse me.
What's your favorite memory about having your business that you'll never forget and why?
starting the business. That's probably my most favorite memory because I really put my all into starting a business, and it was just fun doing it. So yeah, I would have to say that's my favorite memory. It was just getting everything together and actually having the joy of being a business owner. Even though it's hard work, that would be my favorite.
What do you think the biggest misconception about having a DJ?
Biggest misconception, I would say, is that you're going to make a lot of money right then and there. I think that's probably with any business, but for daycare, it takes time to gain people's trust, especially with their little one. So the biggest misconception is that you're not going to get children right away. You have to build a reputation and really just making parents feel comfortable knowing that their little ones will be safe while they're in your care. So the biggest misconception is children, you won't get children right away. You have to build that trust and earn your parents' trust from, your daily habits and showing them that you are capable of taking care of children.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that one there. And so both of those were just really good. They were easy to follow. The second one, the conversation in particular, so I did have an impression of it was a successful profile. There was a point, I understand what this person does, I understand her struggles, and I really liked the conversation, and the music wasn't distracting, it sort of added something. So those were, I just said at the beginning of class, you can consider your grade maybe a grade higher than it would have gotten next semester, because now I know some of the things that I have to tell people to do, and where I'm going to say it's really important not to have this or to have that. So those are two that I think I would have given an A to, whether it is this semester or the next semester. So as I go along and grade your podcasts, this is whatever grade you have by the time I'm done with the podcast, the profile written and the letter of reflection, plus your personal narrative and any participation you've had. This will be your midterm grade. So midterms, you'll know your midterm grade on Monday. Let me just go back to sharing the up and coming research question day that you're gonna have. So did I miss anybody? If your name's not on there?
So our midterm is the feedback.
Your midterm is just a grade. The grade is based on your personal narrative, your profile, and whatever participation which is basically 2 quizzes. That's about it. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. If you do not see your name here, let me know. And before I put somebody here on October 2nd, today is October 2nd. All right, so is that clear? When you are going to bring in a research question?
So for research question, we have to, are we going to write the citations in terms of?
No, just a question. So like, let's say you're researching, what would be a topic that might appeal to you? Let's say whether doing sports actually helps people lose weight. Let's say that's your question. So you're gonna ask the class what they think about that, whether being athletic helps you lose weight. So not whether athletes have a weight problem, not whether being athletic, you must be a certain weight, but if you're an athlete and you want to lose weight by being a harder worker outer, does that help you lose weight? So like that would be a question that I don't know the answer to, because there's all sorts of different factors involved, like muscle will actually weigh more than fat, things like that. So you can get your classmates' opinion on that. So you just need to know what you're gonna research, and today we're gonna work on that a little bit. I'm gonna put you in breakout groups, and you guys, I'll just put you in one big group here. And so in your breakout group, you're gonna have two things to do. So the first one, let me share this with everybody. The first one is, let's see. Okay, so in Zoom land, do you guys see a Microsoft Word doc in front of you?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little bigger for over here. Okay, so these are MLA citations that are not in the correct order. They're out of order. So we have a book, we have an email, we have a reference book. So reference books are encyclopedias or dictionaries or film encyclopedia, something like that. We have a film. We have a review that was published in a newspaper. We have an interview, so you've already done that kind of citation. We have a page on a website. We have an article on the internet. We have a CD, a music CD, which is probably pretty outdated because now everybody streams music. We have a musical composition. We have an article from an academic journal. We have a newspaper article. And we have a video game. So I'm going to tell you in your breakout group here, which ones you're going to work on. So Dayton, Jordan, Naya, and Zaire, you're going to work on putting the book and the email in the right order. So these are not proper citations right now. They're just mixed up. So usually it's last name, first name, then it is the title, then it's the publisher, but it really depends on what it is that you are citing. So you have to look this up and put it in the right order. And you can look it up in the book. So I showed you on Wednesday where to find that information in the book. You can also look at the assignment for the research paper to find the page number for where to find this in the book. You can do it online through a Google search. So Dayton, Jordan, and Naya, you guys are gonna do the email and the book. Then I have Bria, Jaden, Maya, and Shamira. You guys are gonna do the reference book and the film. Then I have Brianna, Ebony, and Lainey. You're gonna do the review and the interview. Okay, so I'm gonna open those rooms and then I'm gonna check in with you guys really quickly to see if, actually what I'm gonna do is show you on Zoom. So I'm gonna stop sharing, just show you on Moodle where to find the document. So you're gonna go to Moodle, and I'm gonna share it with you again, but you should also know that this document is here in your, let me start sharing. So you guys out here, you're gonna have something to do in a second too. Okay, so the document is down here in documents and important stuff. And it is called the MLA game. And I'm gonna open the rooms and then I'm going to check and make sure that you can find the doc, and I might have to just share it with each individual room. So go to your room. So you guys, while they're organizing themselves, all 4 of you, you're gonna take this page on a website, article on the internet. You have the hardest one actually, because they're more electronic. So page on a website, article on the internet, and you're gonna make a proper MLA citation. So I would recommend, like, Alexis, do you mind going into a chair closer to everybody? So keep your distance and get a little closer. All right, so Jaden and Shamira, I don't know why you're not in a room. Why don't you two just work here? So you two work with each other. Oh, there you go. You're in a room. All right. So let me go over here. So do you get what you're doing? Yep. Okay. So talk to each other and
Dr. White, you're muted.
So sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so, yes, please turn that off. I thought it was coming from the hall. So you guys, here's the answers. There's the book, there's the email. Notice the email is different from the email is different from every other entry because it starts with the first name, then the last name. So who knows why MLA does it this way, but that's the way they do it. There's the reference book. So you start with the thing that is being defined in a dictionary. If it's an encyclopedia, it will be a title in quotation marks. Here's the film. So the title is the first thing you put, followed by the directors, the performers, the studio, Universal, and the date. This is a review that was in a newspaper. Last name, first name, title of the article in quotation marks. There's the, I don't know what REV of Majestic City. Oh, that might, no, I don't know what that means. So the director, the two directors, there's an extra space in there. When I say that MLA is annoying, this is what I mean. You want to get these spaces. Notice it's all hanging indentation, so that is correct. Here's an interview. So interview, unlike email, is last name first. Personal interview, so you already did that kind. Here's an article on a website. So you have last name, first name, title of the, title of the article. You know, I actually think that's wrong. Who had the title of the article on a website? Which group had that? Did you guys have it? No? Huh. All right, well, there's something weird about that. So then there's the page on a website, an article on the internet. This is a page on a website that does not have an author. So when you do not have an author and you have an article, you just put the article name in quotation marks. Then you have the name of the website in italics, the date, the web URL. Sometimes it says web in there. Some of these are a little, I need to go back and check these. Here's the articles. Yeah, web. Web needs to go back up there too, web. So I think it's gonna go here. So if you guys didn't do that one, right, that's okay. And so usually I can catch more or less what's there, what needs to be there. And then there's the article on the internet. We have the author's name, title of the article. You have the New York Times. We know it's from the web. We know the date that it was published. This is the date it was accessed, and this is the URL. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about this? It's tricky, it's hard, it's a kind of unpleasant. MLA citationality, but this is what it is. Let me just show you that this weeds out learning how to do research. If you hate this with a burning passion.
So put the website link after the date access.
Yes, you put the website link after the date. I'm going to show you what a paper looks like that I wrote, and you're going to see when I say I don't even use, hold on one second, I don't use MLA much for my publishing. I use a different kind of citations altogether. And depending on your field, it just depends what style you're going to use. But in English classes, we use this MLA style. This is not MLA. And notice how many references I have. That would be 3 pages. You know how long and boring that is to put in dots, and yeah, so I'm asking you for how many in the research paper.
So just put the website link after the day access.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're welcome. 4. You need 4 references. So even though this isn't MLA, it's very similar to what you're gonna do. This particular style, I didn't need to double space it. What is it that you're gonna write on the top of your list of entries?
Works cited.
Works cited. So this style is called Chicago, and it doesn't say works cited, it says reference list. You're gonna write works cited on its own page, you're gonna double space it, and then otherwise it does look very much like this. Okay, so you need 4 references. And next week, we're gonna talk extensively about where to get appropriate references. So you can't just go to the internet and Google or use Google Scholar. You have to use 2 websites that I'm gonna share with you. All right, now we're gonna talk about what your ideas are for research. And I'm gonna start with breakout room number 1. So that was Dayton, Jordan, Naya, and Zaire. What was the best idea for research that you had in your group?
We didn't even have any time to go
No.
over that. We just did the email. Yes, ma'am. We were stuck on the email.
Okay, the email's tricky and tough, right? Because did you figure it out?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do it right?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, it's the thing that's weird about the email, it's last name. Do you want to look at it again and see? Do you know where to get the right answer? That's the more important question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I might have to break you guys back out into breakout rooms. We'll see how breakout room number 2 is doing. So that was Bria, Jaden, Maya, and Shamira. Shamira looks like she's still in a breakout room and gone missing. Do you guys get stuck in your big breakout room? I don't know why Shamira. Oh no, there she is. Shamira's back. So breakout room number 2. Who was your speaker?
We didn't get to discuss it either.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me just check quickly. Do you know, were you good on your references? Did you understand what you needed to do and did you get them right?
We got the reference book right, but we got the film wrong.
The film was hard, don't worry. Were you sort of in the right area? Did you like put quotation marks after?
Yeah, we knew the names were gonna come, well, we thought the names were gonna come first instead of Apollo 13.
Yeah. That makes sense that you think the names come first because every other one, the names come first, but not for films. You put the director and the actors after. So it's kind of a good mistake that you made, actually. You could look at it like that, but this is why I have to go back, just like you guys, every single time and look up, how do I put in the citation correctly? It's just painstaking. And if you find it like torturous, you'll get through college, but you shouldn't go to graduate school. If you hate this is what you do in graduate school. Okay, let me see, Brianna, Ebony, and Lainey, how did you guys do on your?
The interview was easy. We got that one right because.
Okay, so let me just stop you there. On the interview was easy, you got that one right because you already did it, right? So things become easier once you did it and once you've done it, and that one is also not particularly hard. Okay, so what was the other one that you had to do?
The review, I didn't really know what that was, so
It's ridiculously complex. It's a review. It was an article that's in the New York Times. So it should be, if you can find an author, you put the author's last name, first name, but if there's no author, then you just put the title in quotation marks. So actually I want to go back and look and see what that one looks like. Let's see if we can sort of suss that one out, because they get harder as you go along. All right, so I'm going to share this with everybody again. So the review. Okay, oh, there was, yeah, I don't know why this one's so hard. It's because there's this, I don't know what that is. So it might just be because sometimes things are specific to the article and it's a review of a film. So here we have our directors. I don't know what the rev of Magic City is. The author is Mark Truman. The title of the article is France, Where Art Thou? This is information that I don't really know. Director Michael Roth, Benjamin Schwartz noticed that the directors' names are not alphabetical. The newspaper is San Francisco Chronicle. The date that this was written in the 21st of April, 2006, and it was the late edition, and that's the column and the page number. You will not have to do this because you guys are not going to be reading newspapers probably, and so you're probably going to have to learn more how to cite an article on the internet, which is something like this article on the internet, even though I'm seeing that one has some problem that I can't put my finger on. I got to go back over these. And the other thing that with MLA and all the styles, they change. They come out with new ones every few years, and then you have to go and figure out what's different. But anyway, if you were somewhere in these ballparks, you're good. If you were not at all in that ballpark, then we're going to continue to work on the MLA citationality, as boring as it is. What about in class? Did you guys get to talk about your research topics at all?
No, we really couldn't even hear each other, not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you guys get to talk about research topics at all? Okay, so guess what we're going to do on Monday? We're going to talk about research topics. And so you want to start getting this pretty nailed down, because the first thing that you're going to turn in is an annotated bibliography on your research topic. You have to turn in 4 sources, and I'll show you that on Monday, but if you don't even know what you're researching, you cannot do an annotated bibliography. So you must learn what the thing is, and I can't give that to you, because the only way research is tolerable for anybody in the whole wide world is that they want to do it. If you don't like your topic, you're not gonna like this exercise. It must be something you're interested in. Nobody can do research on things that they don't like and don't want to research, because it's too hard and too painful. So it's really important. This is maybe one of the most important parts of this class, is that you figure out, and I don't know what you're interested in. I'm not capable of telling you what's in your brain and what makes you tick. Only you know that. So on Monday, that is your homework. Come in with at least one research topic. We'll be online, and so again, I'm going to break you out in groups. Hopefully the sound will be better. It won't be in this room, so it should work a lot better. Are there any questions?
Ma'am, how do I send you the research topic?
We're just going to talk about it, so you don't need to send it to me. On Monday, we're going to talk about research topics, and you could jot them down if you can't keep them in your head. And let's see who the first person was for bringing in there. So somebody is responsible for bringing one in. So let's make sure that we have that all together.
No, I'm talking about like the work site, like the annotated bibliography. I do have to turn that.
You do have to turn that in on the 16th.
Before my research topic, before I have to bring my research.
Nope, you have to have a research topic first, and then you have to do an annotated bibliography. So first figure out what you want to research, and then figure out where you're going to get the sources, which I'm going to help you with. So the first person to bring in the question is Maya, which I'm sure Maya will have a great question for us.
Mia.
Mia, I know your name is Mia. Mia, do you have an idea of what it is that you want to do for research?
Not really, but it'll be there for Monday.
I have faith in you. Pit bulls are always good in my world.
Thank you.
So see you guys on Monday, and don't overthink it. You should research what you're interested in. I'm sure you're all interested in something.
So I do wait, so can I bring my flip early?
Yeah.
Dr. White?
Yes.
I had sent you my podcast on email because I couldn't
Send it to me in email? Okay, I'll find it.
All right.
That's what happens, why I don't like to get things in email, because they get lost. But so I'll send you, if I can't find it, I'll look it up after this class. If I can't find it, then I will send you an email. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else got a question? I'm gonna end Zoom. Okay, you guys are good? See you on Monday on Zoom.
So we can bring in our research, right?
Yeah, if you have it now,